C4 Lab is a collection of more than 100 tools for cryptocurrency crime investigation and blockchain forensics. In this video, I'm going to give you a brief introduction to these tools. The dashboard is designed to give you the absolute latest intelligence about what is happening in the cryptocurrency world. The first interesting tool is C4 AI. This is an artificial intelligence powered system which is here to answer almost any question that you could have about investigation. So whether you want to learn something or you want to figure out what stuff like this could mean in the context of an investigation. So let's say that you found these characters which you don't understand what they mean and you want to understand and analyze what is this. All you need to do is paste them here and click on analyze. Instantly it tells you that this is likely to be a Japanese BIP39 seed phrase of 24 words. Now that you have this information, it becomes very easy for you to use other C4 tools to crack your investigation. Now let's start with C4 checklists. We've designed a lot of checklists so that no matter what is the case you're investigating, you get comprehensive step-by-step guidance on how to close that case. So you could search based on category, or you could simply search based on the name of the checklist. So let's take an example that you want to handle a crypto-enabled money laundering case. Open up the checklist and you'll be able to see that in this case, it's divided into 8 phases with 34 tasks. As you finish a task, automatically the case progress shows here. And as you scroll down, you will realize that step by step, everything that you need to do to crack this case is provided for you in these checklists. Now let's get started with the C4 seed. C4 seed creator allows you to generate cryptographic seed phrases with all possible combinations. So whether you're looking for 12, 15, 18, 21, or 24 words, whether you're looking for English, Japanese, Korean, or any of the other supported languages, whatever kind of derivation profile you want to set, you can configure all these options, and then all you need to do is click on Generate New Seed. This particular tool is designed more from a learning point of view. If you're looking at investigating seed phrases, then you would use the C4 Seed Investigator. Now, as you probably know, a seed phrase is the most important piece of evidence that you can ever get in a crypto investigation. Using that seed phrase, you can generate unlimited wallets across all supported blockchains. So let's say in a particular case, you have found a particular seed phrase. Now, this could have been tattooed on the suspect or the suspect has written it down somewhere. Once you have this seed phrase, what do you do with it? How do you actually now generate all the different wallets that are possible and then check which of these wallets have actually ever been used in a transaction by the suspect? So here's what you would do in a very simple fashion. Enter in the words here and then select which of the blockchains you want to do this on. Now, let's say in this example, I want to just focus on Polygon. And let me now start on derive and scan. What happens is, one by one, it is now going to create all the possible addresses on Polygon and then check whether any of them have done any transaction so that we can go deeper into that address. And there it shows us that this particular Polygon address, which you can see here, has been used in the past and it currently holds about 200,000 JPY and 10,000 USD. Now you can configure this tool to run on as many addresses as you want. And for each of them, it is going to do this check. Trying to do this manually would take you months, but using C4 Seed Investigator, you'll be able to do this in seconds. Now that you have this address, you just need to click here and it'll open up the C4 wallet profiler. And now it is going to analyze that particular wallet address and see what are the transactions that it has done on the Polygon network in the past. And there you have your report available to you. And from here, you can export this in JSON, CSV, or you can print it out. Finally, there is a tool called C4 Seed Recovery. So suppose you do not have the full 12, 15, 18, 21, or 24 words. A couple of words are missing or not available to you. Then this is the tool that is going to help you figure out which are the possible words that are missing. And then you can continue with your investigation. Then let's have a look at C4 blockchain. And one of the interesting features in that is called an address lookup. So let's say that we want to check out on a Bitcoin address. All we need to do is a lookup. And then it instantly tells us what kind of transactions this particular Bitcoin address has made, what its current balance is, what is the total received and sent Bitcoin, all of this information within seconds. You could also do a transaction receipt where, let's say that you want to submit some evidence in court, and trying to take screenshots or printouts of explorers look very messy. So this would give you the transaction receipt in a very nice format from which you can print, download as PDF, and that's it. That's how easy it is to use. Then we have BTC transaction decoder. So let's say you have a Bitcoin transaction and you want to decode it. That's all it takes. You just enter in the ID and you press decode, and it gives you a complete analysis of this particular transaction. Moving on, we could do the same thing with Ethereum or any EVM supported chain like Polygon. Enter the transaction hash, click on decode, and you have your complete decoded transaction here. One of the very interesting features is called blockchain address directory. So we are creating a very credible database of known cryptocurrency addresses. These could belong to criminal elements, like for example, here it could be a ransomware. And all that we need to do is enter that address and click on check. And it tells us that yes, this particular address is known to belong to a ransomware family, and some more information about that address. It could be a known address of a centralized exchange, in which case you would get this kind of information that this particular address that you're trying to verify belongs to Binance and it is used on AVAX by them. And you will always be able to see the source of this information. So this particular information is as per CoinMarketCap. Finally, we also have a lot of labeled addresses. For example, in this case, this is known to belong to a particular DEX, so that information is available to you. The whole purpose of this blockchain address directory is to make it very easy for you to analyze blockchain and cryptocurrency addresses. Moving on, we have C4 Wallet. So we start out with the wallet profiler. We enter the address here, we select the chain that we want to investigate, and we click on Profile Wallet. Give it a few seconds and it will give you a complete analysis of this particular wallet. Here you can see the complete details here. Let's move on. We have the EVM transaction broadcaster. This is a very interesting tool which allows you to send cryptocurrencies without using a typical wallet like say MetaMask or Trust. You need to enter all the information here, click prepare, and then click on broadcast. And you'll be able to make this transaction across the major EVM chains. You'll also be able to use this particular tool to do it for UTXO in case you want to broadcast transactions for UTXO chains like Bitcoin and Litecoin. Moving on, we've got the wallet file analyzer where you can upload wallet.dat or key store files or JSON wallet files and do an analysis. In fact, let's have a look at how a MetaMask file can be analyzed. So what you need to do is select the file and click Analyze. It will immediately go through that entire MetaMask statelogs.json file and give you complete detailed information about all the transactions, interactions, and accounts related to that particular MetaMask upload. Moving on, we have C4 DeFi, which is for decentralized finance. So if you are analyzing DeFi protocols, you're analyzing the different chains by TVL, the yield pools, stable coins. For example, you want to see all the different stable coins that are there as of right now, what is their circulating supply, the total number of coins available, which of them have been growing, which is the largest, and all the information about the various stable coins, including their name, the peg type, the mechanism, the circulating supply, and the 7-day change. We also have stablecoins by change, stablecoin depeg monitor, which is monitoring when a stablecoin gets depegged, a multi-chain USDT tracker, because USDT still remains the most popular stablecoin when it comes to investigations. We have a mempool monitor and the crypto market overall analysis. Moving on, we have two tools for tokens. So in the first one, you could analyze tokens or get information about them based on their symbol. For example, USDT on Ethereum. And this gives us information about that particular token. We could also do this with the metadata for the contract address. So in this case, we enter the contract address, the chain, and it gives us information about that particular token. This helps a lot in cases where we are looking at whether a particular token is created for fraudulent purposes, or we want to know anything more in detail about that token. TXG shows you the transaction graphs. Let me enter an address here. So let's say I'm doing it for Ethereum. I can select the number of hops, and then I can generate the very detailed graph which maps how that particular address has interacted with other addresses. And a lot of detailed information is provided, including if there are any suspicious activities. Moving on, we can do a contract analysis. So all we need to do is enter a contract address, which in this case belongs to USDT, and we click on Analyze Contract. This would be very useful again in cases of rug pulls and other such contracts. So it gives us an overview. It gives us the source code, the ABI, the functions, events, security analysis, as well as the bytecode. You could do this also for internal transactions. So let's again enter USDT here, and let's fetch all the internal transactions. That information is now instantly available to us, which we can then export in a CSV. Moving on, we have a large number of utilities divided into multiple categories like encoding, text, time and data, math, and random related. Then we have a lot of cyber tools that you can use, divided into 3 categories. That's web intelligence, image forensics, and file forensics. We have crypto analysis tools divided into 2 categories. That's encryption and password recovery. Then we have cases where you can create various cases, attach different evidence to it, generate reports, generate timeline analysis, all that in the click of a button. We also have a very interesting C4 field, which is a USB drive powered tool. You can connect it to the laptop or the Android device of a suspect, and you can get information, extract information like screenshots, clipboard, process lister, browser sessions, wallets, network monitoring, files, memory strings, memory dump, and of course, you could do an entire Android acquisition. And then you could even generate an evidence timeline. Now, once you have this tool with you, then you can import that output from the pen drive. It creates a zip file, and it also creates a hash file which authenticates the zip file. You just need to drag and drop them here. It'll import all the evidence in, and you can create a new case, and then you can start collecting more evidence relating to that case. Then you have settings, and one of the most important thing here is the API key manager, where you can enter your API keys. The Moralis is the most important one. Even if you don't do the others, that shouldn't affect your investigation. But the Moralis one is something that you should enter. So you can just go to the Moralis site and get a free API key and enter it here. Once you enter it, you just go down and click on Save All API Keys, and you're good to go. Finally, we have the help, where you can have a look at the detailed documentation. Each and every feature that I've talked about is explained in detail here along with its screenshots. So you could very easily get answers to all your questions.